Fantastico.
Hei! Ok, da vi I gang. Hello, hello.
Yes, hello and welcome to this deep dive in Teams Voice. My name is Knut and I'm here with Kai.
Hello, my name is Kai and I'm also a presenter of these sessions that will be uploaded to the YouTube channel.
So, of course, first of all, before we get into all the juicy bits, we have to say thank you to our partners. Without partners, it wouldn't be possible with this type of events. And of course, we are really sad that we are not there together with all of you guys in Chicago on this Saturday to kind of take part in the in-person event. But we are excited to still stream live from the places we are all around the world and to kind of show you our knowledge, even if we couldn't attend in person. So thank you to Microsoft, Innovative Environments. The M365Chicago is an OTSN conference, so we'll get back to that a little bit later on as well. And of course, the community partners like Crash, the North American Collaboration Summit, and all the other ones that we can see here. So thank you to everyone for that. And yes, we have the agenda today. So first of all, we'll introduce ourselves for the people that doesn't know us. And then, of course, Kai will take most of the show because he's the Teams voice expert. I'm here just as the co-pilot, isn't that what we call it? So these days. So we will talk about Teams voice, what is out there, like what possibilities are there from kind of Microsoft's perspective and not Microsoft's perspective. We will look into the attendant and contact center options, which I think is kind of curious and interesting and exciting. And of course, the dynamic 365 integrations. And last but not least, we'll talk about Power Scripts and some give you some tips and tricks to what you can do there and show you Powershell you can also download and use in your own environments. But yeah, let's talk about Knut. And I think I will do that one, Kai, and you can talk about yourself. It's easier when we do this. So yeah, Knut Relbe-Moe is my name. I'm kind of, we are both from Norway. Together with Kai, we're actually organizing Collab Days Oslo later this autumn, like 30th of November, together. So if somebody is listening and want to have a trip and come visit us in Oslo, then please do so. We will release tickets and everything a little bit later on, but please follow us to find out more. I'm a modern workplace expert with focus on Microsoft Viva, Teams, SharePoint, and intranets, and been Microsoft MVP for 10 years now. We had like exciting times like last week to see if we got re-awarded as MVP or not, because if not, we had to change this slide altogether. So luckily, we both survived the draft this year as well. And yeah, please follow me on different social medias and reach out to me if you have any kind of questions. I'll leave the word to you now, Kai.
Yeah, my name is Kai Steinberg. I'm from Oslo, Norway, a small place outside of Oslo named Sigrud. Sigrud is famous for one person only, and that is the World Cup and Olympic hero, Lasse Kjus, who was Olympic gold medalist back in the 90s.
I thought, well, you should say yourself now, Kai. I'm really disappointed.
Yeah, this is my third year as a Microsoft MVP, and I'm also an expert in M365, Microsoft Teams, Copilot, and I work for Capgemini. I've been a consultant for almost more than 25 years now, so I've seen a lot. And my role in Capgemini is the managing consultant and subject matter experts. I'm also running some huge or participate in user adoptions in large scale Copilot projects as well. You find me on LinkedIn on X, so please contact me if or connect with me. I also run a Norwegian podcast named the Teams Castway, where also Knut has been a guest. This is strictly in Norwegian, but sometimes I release a special episode in English for our international guests and followers, of course. And I'm also a blog writer, so I have 2 different blogs, one's in English and one in Norwegian as well, where I also write about Copilot, Teams, contact center solutions, and much more. So let's start. Teams voice features offers a range of features that enable organization to streamline their telephony operations. Why should you use Teams and why not? This is some of the things that we will handle during this session. But let me say one thing. Wouldn't it be great to have your chat, your calls, your contact center, your voice solution, your voicemail, call recording, access to everything by using one application? And you can do it. You can use Microsoft Teams for all what it takes. Often we talk about call recording. Call recording is something that is regulated in the financial industry and also in banks because they have to have good recordings regarding it. So if you work there, then of course Microsoft can help you with their lots of great partners so that you can find the right recording solution for your financial industry. But there are different ways to connect to Teams voice. One of the greatest things I think is direct routing. This is the cheapest one and at least one of the easiest to get started with. You have to speak to your telco so that your telco can also provide you with a session border controller, an SBC. If you don't know what an SBC is, please talk to a partner and then the partner can deliver it as what I call it, a session border controller as a service. The next step is that you can also use Microsoft for your calling provider. This is quite easy. You can buy licenses and phone numbers from Microsoft. It's quite expensive because you have domestic or you have domestic and international calls. So this is the expensive one. It costs you $25-30 per month for one user. It's kind of like the cost for Copilot. But then, of course, you have the Operator Connect. Operator Connect is in many ways the next generation of direct routing. Here you will have all your phone numbers in your Teams admin center. Then the newest child in town is what we call Teams Phone Mobile. Teams Phone Mobile was launched in at Ignite in 2022. So it has been out there for a few years. And what you actually do is that you buy this from your mobile provider. They will then upload your mobile number into the Teams admin center. So instead of having a fixed landline and a mobile number, then you will have one number for calling out from Teams. And that is pretty smart. And if you, for example, change telco provider and you already have Teams Phone Mobile and the numbers in the Teams admin center, then you're changing to a provider that also can provide you with Teams Phone Mobile. Then you just port your number to this provider and the number is uploaded again from this provider. There are some obstacles, but as for now, Teams Phone Mobile is pretty cool.
So which one would you recommend, Kai, to start with?
Yeah, what I recommend to start with is the direct routing part. Lots of partners out there, lots of providers, lots of international actors as well. So if you have, for example, telco partners or branch offices around the globe, they are lots of partners there that can help you, so that you can have everything from one session border controller, one partner who can deliver this.
And it doesn't matter if you have like location in Chicago and in Norway and in Japan, it will still be the one.
Yeah, you can use the same provider worldwide. There are different actors out there. Orange, you can use, for example, Telnix, you can use other providers as well, but these are the big ones. And make sure if you, for example, go with Telnix, make sure you have a partner that can provide you with one invoice directly from Telnix instead of using your credit card.
Mm-hmm. And how the Teams mobile is working? Is it like a dedicated mobile phone that is Teams enabled, or like how does it work?
This works, for example, if my cell phone, which I have Telia in Norway, and my employee want my phone to be a part of Teams telephony, you just provide you with a Teams phone license for my user, and then the operator, the telco, will provide with all the information directly into the Microsoft Azure Enter ID, and of course, then this information will be synced to Teams Admin Center, and your phone number will show up in the Teams Admin Center, and you can use your Teams client to call from your PC or Mac, or using Teams as a browser, and you will always have your cell phone with you, even though if your cell phone is home and you are at your branch office. It's pretty cool.
Sounds really cool, but yeah, that's great. Thank you for the insights. So if to move to the attendant and the contact center, of course, then there are a lot of different options basically out there. The first one, of course, would be the Microsoft one that has the inside of the Teams Admin Center. You have the thing that is called like the AutoAttendant, and of course the CallQueue. That is the most simple way to have a contact center. But of course, like with every simple, there always are some limitations. Kai, maybe you can mention some of those limitations.
Yeah, one of the big obstacles there is statistics. Microsoft is brilliant in lots of things, but call statistics, it's quite pain in the ass. You can of course see the calls, but you cannot follow the calls, what has happened, who has answered, and so on. So there are lots of bad solutions. You have, of course, the IVR functionality, press 1 for this and 2 for that and 3 for that. Mm-hmm. You have, as I will show later in the video here, that you can see how this actually works, how we configure it. You can add Enter ID groups with users. Earlier, there was an prerequisite that all the users that was to sit on the queue had Teams phone numbers. Otherwise, they wouldn't get a call. Thank God, that is out now. So actually, you can only have the call queues, and there are some licensing parts there as well that I will speak about during the video regarding the AutoAttendant.
Yeah, so basically like the core functionality are there, but if you want to have more insights, more understanding how everything works, then there are limitations. And of course, that's why you have some ISVs, just as Tendfor or Landis and a lot more, which we'll get back to also later in the presentation. They, of course, have created more advanced solutions based on different type of technologies that they're using, but of course, utilizing the Microsoft Graph APIs to be able to kind of connect with the M365 environment and Microsoft Teams to make those type of integrations. So of course, with those Graph API integrations, they can support all the ways that Teams Voice for Microsoft is doing it, but of course they will do it with their own contact center solutions providing the more advanced capabilities that we don't get from kind of the Microsoft approach. But then, of course, probably you have been seeing a lot of customers that has tried the Microsoft solution first, and then they figure out, hey, this is not good enough, and then they want to go with the Rolls-Royce afterwards, kind of thing. You know, like you drive the Lada or the easier model first, and then you go to the advanced later. And then, of course, Dynamics 365, there are, of course, also some different solutions. Of course, from the customer service, you obviously want to connect with your Azure Communication Service and also Copilot Studio by using the direct routing, basically. And of course, you want to have integrations if you're working with Microsoft Dynamics, so that you can just click with the click of a button. You can kind of make those phone calls within the tool that you're most used to talk about. So yeah, exciting stuff, but I do see a lot of added value with kind of the added third-party products, which we of course you will show some use scenarios of that later, Kai. So let's move to the next slide, please.
Yes. Yeah. First of all, I want you to see a demo regarding how Microsoft AutoAttendant and CallQueues are configured. So let's start the video. Here we have the AutoAttendant. This has been assigned a phone number, and we can see the phone number there. We have the time zone, and of course languages is quite important as well. What kind of language? You can also type a message, or you can upload a file, and you can redirect the call to a call queue. This is quite important. You also have opening hours, which is good, and what should happen when people are calling you, when you have holidays, national day, and so on. And of course, dial scope, and exclude users from be a part of it. We have the resource account that has to be licensed. I will speak a little bit about that later, and the phone number. So this is quite important. Then, of course, we are saving this, and it has been updated. It speaks English, and then we have the call queues. My advice: start, if you are going to use call queues, you will also have to license it, and this doesn't have to have a phone number. You can, for example, provide it with a resource account with a phone number so that you can add the calling ID. You can have a greeting in the call queue, but why should you have a greeting in the call queues if you already have AutoAttendant? But you can also here assign the users, or choose a team, or add user groups to the system. Conference mode is one stuff. Agent selections. How shall the calls be routed? Should it be rerouted? Are you interested in presence routing? Which means that users who are busy in their calendar or in Teams will not get calls from the call queue. It's kind of like a busy on busy. Then, of course, exceptions handling. What happens if you reaches your maximum call queue? What shall it do? What is the waiting timeout? This you can set from 20 minutes, which is the default, which I think is ridiculously long. So please, for example, 1 minute, 30 seconds, depends on what you like for your queues. But as I mentioned, you need to have a resource account for every AutoAttendant and CallQueue. They need a license. The license is named Microsoft Teams Phone Resource Account license. This is cost-free, but you need at least to have one Teams phone system license to get this license for free. So for every queue or every AutoAttendant that you build, you need to have these resource accounts and you need to have it licensed. If you want users to dial into this queue, you also need, for example, to an AutoAttendant that present you with, hi, this is welcome to Teams Castaway. Our opening hours is from Monday to Friday, 8 to 5. Hold the line. And yeah, that could be a welcome message. And then, of course, you can have the closed message and so on. This you can provide from the AutoAttendant so that it doesn't jump into the queue at the present time. So you can create everything with the AutoAttendant, but I would recommend when you start to build these tools with Microsoft AutoAttendant and CallQueue, start to create the resource accounts. Name it, for example, if it's a resource account for the switchboard, then if it's for AutoAttendant, for example, call it AA switchboard. And then for the queue, call it CQ switchboard. Then you know it's a resource account. Then, of course, you have to create these with the zip address and so on. You can add your dial policies so that you can dial out, and your voice policies as well. But this is well documented in the Microsoft Learn portal if you search for AutoAttendant and CallQueue. Just follow those guidelines and you are home safe. When it comes to the Teams phone system, if you have E5, you have it included. If you have E3 or some other licenses, you have to buy it as an add-on license. That's also quite important. Then, of course, we have contact center solutions. One of the solutions that I'm going to show you today is the contact center solutions from Tendfor. We will cover other products as well during this presentation. This is an ISV solution, which is mainly used around the globe. And let's start the demo. So first of all, we have a portal where we have the admin, we have the statistics, web agent, client, and the queue. Inside here, we have also the Learn portal, from which we can see how the application works, how it is designed, how to implement this solution. And this solution is quite easy to implement. I think I mentioned for you, Knut, that good working day, this is done in 4 to 5 hours to get the basics. This is the admin portal, as we see here. We have different types of settings regarding integrations and so on. And as you can see, we have bots, endpoints, visitor flow, which is press 1, press 2, press 3. Interaction queues, we can, for example, in press 1, transfer to this queue, press 2, transfer to support, press 3, transfer to the fax, for example, and so on. If someone is interested to speak to the fax machine, that is also possible. I tried it back in the days. Schedules, you have also escalations possibilities, which you don't have otherwise. And you have integration with the call recording, reporting, Dynamics and Salesforce, and the web service as well. As you can see, we have a bot, which is quite popular nowadays to create and build. I've seen lots of good examples on different types of bots, but this also has an endpoint, which is the same as we mentioned regarding the resource account attached. Here we see this endpoint for this queue, and here you can see that we can choose whether we want to use direct routing, operator connect, calling plans, Teams Phone Mobile, and so on. They are all available here. And one cool part is that they provide you with all the PowerShell scripts that you need to run to create this queue. And to add your phone number, your licenses, and it tells you what it actually does. So you need to have at least Teams administrator or global admins to run these PowerShell scripts. Also global admin for consenting this type of solutions. And they are quite good, and it's quite easy to build and run this solution. The other thing is that we have the visitor flow is actually, and interaction queues. We have callback for the Norwegian users. I was the one who wrote all the texts for the Norwegian spoken callback functionality, so blame it on me. You have voice messages. Of course, you can create, for example, in Norwegian, you can have English, you can have different type of voice messages, and it uses text to speech. So you just type it, and then you choose whether you want a email or a mail. And of course, you have integrations with the different types of solutions and emergency messages, for example. You can have upload if the fire alarms goes bananas into the contact center, you will then can upload emergency messages. You can integrate it with different types of number checks, services, and so on. And of course, we have the new web agent. And this is how a web client should look like. We're just waiting for it to load. It takes a bit time. But this is the way to do a web client. They have, of course, a PC client as well. And of course, you can search for people in your Entra ID and so on. When you look to the PC client, you install a client on your local computer. But when it comes to updating, it's kind of like Teams or Spotify upgrades. It will, when you log on, it checks, and then it automatically downloads it and install it for you. So you always have the latest versions. As I will show you here, I will show you lots of failure when it's searching for people. In my tenant, there isn't so much personas there, but I can tweak it and starts to search. Let's see if we get a hit. Suddenly here I will also search for my father, who appears in this tenant real soon. And of course I can't find myself. Things takes a bit time, but there we got a hit. And of course, if I had put in his information about phone numbers and so on, I could actually transfer a call to him directly, either on Teams or his mobile phone or fixed line phone number, and get all kind of information about him there. And of course, this is the way it should work. And you can also do the same in the client. As you can see, I found my father and also found his mobile number as well. And of course, we have the queues in the left side down here, and we have all types of information. So when a calls come in, you will see the waiting time and how many is on queue and so on. The presence here, and this is quite important, is following your presence information based on, if you have mobile integration, then you can get information about your mobile status, which is quite popular here in Norway, at least. Then it will also look through your calendar, your Teams status as well. And all those three presence informations will be aggregated to the presence status that you have. So that was about this application. Knut, back to you.
Yeah, that was quite so interesting. And of course, you see there's a lot more to the different vendors out there than what you get from the Microsoft perspective. So there's a reason why all those vendors or ISVs are there. So yeah, we have a few. You mentioned Tendfor, but of course there are other third-party options out there as well. So of course you should check out all of them, or look into do a comparison for yourself if you are into finding the right third-party product for you. You need always to check them out and see who fits your requirements the best, and of course ask them to get a free proof of concept, or maybe like a 30-day trial to test it out as well. And of course, one of them are Landis Technologies, as you can see here on our screen. We also have a lot of other ones like Anywhere 365, Ixel, Sukeri, and of course Enghouse Interactive, who deliver Trio Cloud and Compatella in a way. So, and then of course Tendfor, as we just showed the demo of. There are probably even more out there, Kai, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, there are lots of them out there. This is just a perspective of some of them that I know. And
so where are they based, like these kind of companies? Because some people, of course, prefer to buy from the local company in the same country as they are situated themselves, for instance.
yeah, and this is quite interesting. Landis is a US-based company, so they are also getting a footprint over in Europe. Enghouse Interactive is a Canadian company that buys different types of solutions, as you mentioned. Trio Cloud, which is quite big here in the Nordics. Compatella, that was big when it comes to Sky for Business and Lync. They were sold to Enghouse, must have been in 2022. So they are a part of Enghouse now, which is a Canadian-based company. And of course, Tendfor is located in Sweden. For some reasons, Compatella was in Sweden as well, and are still in Sweden, but are now flying under the Enghouse umbrella, together with Trio and lots of other. And the other are located and has branch office around the globe. So just check them out on their webpage.
Perfect.
And now we start to talk. I have done a lot of investigating and testing. Actually, I might be quite proud of it to say it. I was the first in the world, together with MVP Tricia Sinclair and MVP Thomas Sandsør, to integrate Dynamics 365 customer service omnichannel with voice. More of that later. But if you are running dynamic sales, then you want to have functionality as click to call, add your calls directly into Dynamics 365 sales. Why not? And you also have Teams voice. Just turn on the features. It's quite easy. You need to be an administrator. You need to add the users in a security group, of course, but then you will have everything you need to have an efficient sales organization. You will, of course, have click to call when you search for a client, if you have and so on. You can just click on the phone number and it dials with either your phone number out, or if you have a good provider for your telco, you can say that these people shall show the company phone number out, which you put on your session border controller, and then you will have everything fixed for you. So Dynamics 365 Sales is the easy way to get started. And it's so simple. Knut?
Yeah, you should talk about this one as well.
Yeah, let me take the Dynamics marketing. This is quite easy. It's only for internal use, so be aware of that. No voice integration is possible, and it's just chat. And if it stands in the marketing application, you will only have internal contacts that you can chat with, not external. Then you have to use your Teams client. So please, if you are using the marketing module, you don't need to do it, but there is an option there. And it's only chat. As you can see here, it's quite easy. Doing it from the admin portal, of course, for the Dynamics marketing, and you just turn on the Teams features, as mentioned here. We will, of course, upload the presentations afterwards so that you can investigate the presentations a little further if you want to. Then, of course, we have the telephony element when it comes to Azure Communication Service, or ACS. This is the way you use to configure your telephony in Dynamics Omnichannel that we will bring on. It also be aware that when you are using ACS, you either can buy numbers from Microsoft, or you can use direct routing. But please get a partner that understands the ACS. It's not many of them out there, because what you need to be aware of is that ACS provides SDK and APIs to allow SMS, video, voice calling, and telephony inbound and outbound calls to your phone. It's built on Azure, meaning ACS take advantages of all the AI capabilities, infrastructures, scalability, and security that Azure provides. Copilot Studio brings AI to Dynamics via your bots. Dynamics Sales are using the Teams voice platform. And these are different ways to connect. As you can see here, we have this IVR functionality, and you can use this also when you are using your bot from Copilot Studio, which is then connected. As I mentioned a bit earlier on this slide, is that be aware of several things. We will look into the configuring ACS. First of all, you open your ACS and you are choosing your telephony and SMS button here. Then, of course, you have different types. Try phone calling or direct routing. If you already have direct routing, be aware of the following. You then have a session border controller, and that session border controller has an FQDN, which is a domain that has been registered into your M365 tenant under domains. This domain name cannot be the same as you use for the Teams calling. So you have to register another FQDN, the TXT records, and so on. So please talk to a partner that understands this. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Because you are, as you can see here, adding a domain. Then, of course, it will verify it so that you get a green hatch on the verified domain. Then the FQDN for the session border controllers, and of course, voice routers that are connected to the name of the session border controller. And that is how you do it. So the first thing we do is to configure ACS. And as I mentioned, Microsoft numbers or direct routing are the parts. When I did this in 2021, this was all beta. So it was quite interesting to see how it worked. But we managed to get it worked, and it was 1 month later I was awarded as an MVP. Not in Dynamics, because I can't Dynamics. I start all my sessions and I should talk about Dynamics and just staking under. Please do not ask me about Dynamics. Ask me about the integration. And that's how it goes. So we're starting with configuring the ACS. Then Microsoft numbers, as I mentioned, get a telco who knows session border controllers because you need someone. And as I mentioned, the same FQDN can't be used because it's already registered and runs for your direct routing. You are not able to use, for example, Microsoft calling plans. You are not able to use Operator Connect or Teams Phone Mobile for this solution. And of course, sometimes you need help with lots of stuff. And one of the things that is quite good and which I can recommend is if you escalate a case to the Microsoft Premier support, those guys have tools that I want to have and I don't get my hands on, and they are strictly to analyze the logs from the ACS. And those people who are working there are brilliant. I worked with them in some customer cases, and we found that there was in one of the cases that there was a bug in Windows 11.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah. Sorry, took a bit of time. And then, of course, you are building your bot with the Copilot Studio, earlier known as Powershell Agent. It's the same application. So if you have used Powershell Agent, then of course the PVA, then you can automatically understand how this goes. But there is one obstacle more. If you have set your language to the bot and want to change it, sorry, doesn't work. You need to create a new bot with the other language. So be aware of that.
Amazing feature.
Yeah.
All right. So, of course, to do all of this magic that Kai has been talking about right now, you need to have a Swiss Army knife or Kai in your pocket, basically. So one or the other works, hopefully. But you have a toolbox, of course, that you should use. And this, of course, is based on best practices from Kai. So, of course, you need to have your Excel sheet ready to keep track of all the direct routings, basically, and all the users and all the numbers, so you know how to track them. And of course, then you can also give them a phone number if it's a new employee, for instance. Of course, if you're using other services than direct routing, then you will have the numbers of that, of course, also in the Teams admin center. I think you have mentioned quite a few times today, Kai, that you need to have a good telephony partner who knows their stuff, basically. So I think that is the key for success here, that you need to get that really good partner to help you, to be there together with you. Because for me, this sounds like something that is tricky. It sounds like there's a few pitfalls. So it's not like straightforward. Let's just say it like that. So you need to be sure that you are working with the right people. And of course, it's always a good way to basically hire someone if you don't have it yourself. Like go to a Microsoft consultancy partner and kind of hire the people from there, or get someone in-house depending on your usage scenario. And of course, don't forget to get the help from Microsoft support. They are there to help, as Kai mentioned as well. They have their people standing by that has probably worked with all the weird scenarios beforehand, so they can easily deep dive and get you to come across the issues that you're facing. And you should never be scared of asking for help. Like that's my experience from working with other aspects of Microsoft as well. It's like key to do that. And of course, use the logs and trace to find errors and get the help with Microsoft support or your telco partner for that, because of course. But to do that, you need to make sure that they have the logs, basically, to do that in a sense. And of course, ACL's logs, it sounds like when I used to work with SharePoint and we looked into the events log and all that, audit logs and all that kind of stuff from SharePoint, it's to look for bugs. It's first time you open it, it's like Greek, and then you just need to understand how they're operating and how they work, and then it will be much easier to find the needle in the haystack, basically. So yeah, and of course, as before, there are a lot of those third-party solutions out there as well, and there are different voice solutions. So either the Microsoft number or direct routing, as mentioned earlier as well. But I think we need to jump up to the second one. Just find someone that is knowing what they're doing and get skills when you need them, or just call Kai, basically. So yeah.
Yeah. Most of that. Then of course we have one little demo left. This is going to be quite often. This is actually a PowerShell script that MVP and regional director Ståle Hansen has written together with some other MVPs as well. I use this quite often, especially to large customers. I can go into the script and add my total phone numbers. And as you can see here in this PowerShell window, I can start the scripts. And of course, things happens when I try to run it. And that's one of the reasons why I use screen recording to provide you with all my mistakes and so on. I use PowerShell 7.4.3. I have one of the script file. It's named getTeamsNumbers.ps1, which stands for PowerShell. And of course, when I run it the first time, it didn't understand anything. I get an error. It doesn't find the command. I start to wonder, what have I done now? But a little trick here. And // and it scans my deployment, and from my deployment I can see that I have 3 phone numbers in this tenant. Of course, when you have, for example, 5,000, 10,000 numbers, it takes a bit time. But if you have fulfilled your script, you can also export this into the PowerShell command by adding some instructions to it. So it will actually create a CSV file to catalog on your computer, and you can then use that CSV file and then you have full control of all your phone numbers, which is quite important. Yeah,
That's
it's
nice.
very nice. It's very nice. And you can see out in the left side, you will have these numbers available on which series it actually are in, out here in the number range. Then you will see all the names, all the SIP address, type, the phone number, the DID, extensions, if you are running extensions. I don't think that's supported anymore. And if you have gold numbers or the number has been set in redemption and so on. But we are starting to get out of time. So let's jump to one of these slides. Help us improve our conference. Please scan the QR code if you have the time to do it, and send us feedbacks, or go to this URL here. Then, of course, support the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Scan this QR code, or if you are in a crisis and you are located, call or text 988 or text talk to 74 17 41.
And that, of course, only work in the US.
Yes, that's only work in the US. And please do so. And if you need help, speak to someone. Thank you all. If you have any questions, you can either contact me or Knut. You can reach us on these emails. I will, of course, upload the slide deck to SlideShare, and you can download it there as well. Any final word, Knut?
No, thank you, Kai. It was interesting, and I learned a lot today as well, as I hope everybody else did. So thank you so much for sharing all your knowledge, and thank you to all the viewers that hopefully is going to watch this later.
Thank you all, and have a great conference.
Woohoo!